What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fantasy Endgame. It's time to mock draft. We do this every week, multiple times per week, because we want to get ahead of the game. That's what we do. Now, you might notice that our draft is already half full. We're about to fill this thing up. How is it that people are already in? Well, I'll tell you, of course, Chris and I take the liberty of picking two spots. But we have some of our, what used to be patrons, but now our flock members of the flock. I don't know how. Was there a thing? I don't know. But you might know we are on flockfantasy.com. If you go to flockfantasy.com/endgame, the link is down below, and you'll see it scrolling down at the bottom here throughout the draft. That's how you can get in. It's your fast pass, basically, to joining these mock drafts, because the link goes live in there in the Discord before we go live here on YouTube. So that's the best way to guarantee, because I know a lot of you are waiting, dying. Some of you haven't even gotten into a mock draft. Look, we want to include you. We want everybody to be drafting with us, but you want to get an advantage. That's how you do it. So flockfantasy.com/endgame. Join now. And oh, by the way, you also get access to our rankings for Dynasty and Best Ball, and eventually redrafts and articles and videos and all sorts of other stuff, including other live streams. So I'd say it's worth it. I don't know, Chris, you think it's worth it?
I think it's absolutely worth it. I just posted a new article today, actually. So
Nice.
Part 1 of 2. It's one of my... I might turn it into a video at some point. I'm really excited about it. But anyways, I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
All right. So people asking for the link. I know y'all are dying. Here we'll see who gets in. But again, I'm going to keep saying it because it's true. At some point, guys, the link won't even be posted because these things will be full. So if you join us on flockfantasy.com/endgame, then you know you'll guarantee yourself a spot. But let's see who gets in. Are we ready?
I'm ready. Here we go. Get ready with your fingers, everybody. Thumbs, whatever it takes. 3, 2, 1. Good luck. And by the way, I posted it took me 29 mock drafts, but I finally figured out, why don't I just post the settings in the title of the mock draft? So you can see it up there in the top left. 1 QB, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex, full PPR. Our typical draft.
Yep. I don't know if you agree with me on this, Stinger. Very good question. As we wait anxiously for the draft to fill, best guitar player ever, it's Jimi Hendrix, and that's the end of the story.
Probably. I really don't know. Jimi Hendrix is like the one I know, so I'll just say Jimi Hendrix.
Good answer. Good answer. All right, and we're full. See, it took not even. That was a quick question. It looks like we have. Oh, look who's at the 1. It's me. Yeah, I get myself the 1.1 today. Stomach Worm at the 2. Our boy Keith is at 3. And then, Chris, you're going with a 10 today. All right.
We're going with a 10, but I may have some good news for everybody who didn't get in, or at least for one of you who didn't get in. It doesn't look like Stomach Worm is online. So, I'm going to open up a spot here. Unless he shows up in the next however long it takes me to do this. Let me see.
All right. So there's some hope still. Yeah, Eddie Van Halen, obviously up there, top 5.
I got to remember how I did this. I've done it before.
As we wait for the Stomach Worm to turn up, let's see. Who else? Who else has opinions here? I'm going with Jimmy. Stevie Ray Vaughan. Honestly, I haven't listened to a lot of Stevie Ray Vaughan. That's what Stinger's saying. Van Halen, definitely I have.
All right. How did I... Sorry, guys. I know there's a way to do it. I've done it before. Maybe you have to do it in the... I thought you had to do it in the app, though. Yeah, I can't set it there.
Who else has opinions? I'm sure a lot of people have opinions on this.
You thought you were coming for a fantasy football draft. You're getting a guitar player.
Respectable. Just calling him respectable is an insult to the GOAT.
All right, does anybody in the comments just know how to do this?
Done it before. I thought you said you had to.
Okay, I got it finally.
Okay. That's a good point. Led Zeppelin, probably, I'd say, the greatest rock band ever.
All right, let's see if this. Get ready. I'm about to remove stomach worm. So one spot is about to open. Get ready.
Okay.
Oh, jeez. Okay, never mind. I didn't quite do it.
Pineapple and ham on pizza. I'll eat that every day and twice on Friday.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's delicious.
That's your worst take ever.
Pineapple is delicious. By itself, on pizza, in a drink, anywhere.
Okay, now it's telling me my draft name can only, this is all right. I guess I got to get rid of this. It's saying the draft name can only be a max of 50 characters. Thanks, Sleeper.
I'm going to say yes. Just because it has a different name, it's still a sandwich. Hot dog.
All right, here we go.
I'm going to
get
go
ready.
With yes.
One spot open. Good luck. And wow. And it filled like in less time than I. Wow. Okay.
All right.
We're full.
Y'all are like
wow. That was like instantaneous.
They're like what is it called? Not Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Like shopping experts,
Yes.
Like know how to get that. The PS5 goes on sale. You're hitting refresh every half a second. All right, guys, let's go.
All right,
let's do it.
We're finally ready. Let's go, Pierre. You're on the clock.
I am on the clock. Let me think. Okay, I'm done. All right, Jerry. Awesome. I guess you're the one who took that spot. You were waiting. You were ready. I'm guessing.
He was ready. He was ready for that spot to open up. And he takes Eckler. He spices it up right off the bat.
All right. So I got a while before my turn. So let's keep talking. No, I'm just kidding.
A hot dog is a taco.
All right, let's see. Got McCaffrey, Hulk Smash back in here. I think he was at the 12 last time we drafted.
I think so. That's pretty early for running backs for this format.
A little bit. Eckler, definitely. Eckler, we don't see Eckler going before CMC usually or JT either.
Or even Chase or Hill. I mean, it's rare that we see Eckler at the 2.
Yeah, look, I mean,
Lamar knows what's up. No fruit on pizza.
All right, well, here's my take on this is, for me, like, you could put anything on a pizza and it'll taste good and I'll eat it. Like, you could have like shreds of like a rubber tire and put some put some Parmesan and some mozzarella on it. Like, it'll still taste good.
Yeah. I mean, you're right about the Parmesan and mozzarella. I don't know about the rubber tire.
Even vegetables. A lot
of Parmesan and mozzarella to hide the rubber tire taste.
Even vegetables are good on a pizza. All right, Kelsey. Dr. Cheeks is in the building.
Well, let's see. I'm interested to see what he does here. Top 4 wide receivers gone. Kelsey gone. The top 2 running backs gone.
He is, because I know, okay, that's what I thought. I was going to say, this spot, I know what you would probably do, but isn't he a CeeDee Lamb hater?
I think he came around finally last season and said, okay, this guy's good.
Yeah, he's the one who was saying he's like a glorified slot receiver or something like that. Like,
I mean, he does run a lot of routes from the slot, but he's still incredible. I was really hoping CD would make it to me. See, this is like a spot where usually it's like, okay, if I don't like any of the wide receivers here, I can grab Kelsey, but Kelsey's already gone.
Mm-hmm. You don't really want to go running back here yet.
I don't really want to, but I think I have to. I just think because of the wide receivers that are on the board right now, I I think I got it. I'm gonna go anchor RB tonight probably. I think I'll get a good enough wide receiver on the way back.
Okay, so let's talk. This is good timing. Let's talk about this because you actually went live talking about the Lamar situation, which, by the way, if anyone on here hasn't caught it, we don't just live draft, these mocks multiple times a week. Now it's live reaction, live for breaking news. So Chris is going live 2-3 times a week, and so you broke down Lamar Jackson. So what if this is the latest thing? Doesn't mean it's the real thing. It's just the latest thing. What if Lamar Jackson goes to the Colts? What would that mean for JT?
I think it would be okay for JT. I think it would be okay for him. I mean, JT is not a guy you're drafting to catch, 50, 60, 70 passes. He'll still get plenty of goal. He'll probably get more goal line chances, honestly.
Right. And you're back now. You got your anchor, so let's see what receivers are left. I mean, I think it's a good thing. A lot of people will go with, a running quarterback, stealing from the running back. He'll vulture touchdowns. He'll take some carries. To me, though, if you're running an offense with Lamar Jackson as your quarterback, and of course you're giving up whatever it's going to take to get him, which I think they're asking for 2 first-round picks, and of course the money that he's going to ask for, you're committing to an offense that is going to be centered around that type of quarterback. You're not going pass heavy. They don't really have the personnel to be a passing team anyways. I mean, they have Pittman, who they're not even in love with him, apparently. They're going to let him walk after this year, entertaining trade offers. That, to me, means they're going to, run the damn ball, which they used to do. And I think it's good for JT if that happens.
I agree. I'm fine. I'm good with JT, whatever happens with the Colts. I'm not worried about him. I mean, he's been great with, whoever.
All right. Let's have some agreement here.
I just went running back. Man.
I just noticed that. So you did. You took Bijan. You saw the value there. Well, you didn't see a receiver you loved. I mean, I'm guessing if Brown or Wilson were there, you would have taken him probably.
Oh, yeah. I definitely would have taken Wilson or Brown if they were there. I feel like this is kind of like what I used to preach back in the day. Because if think back, 5-6 years ago, if anybody was playing fantasy football back then, I'm sure some of you were, all these blues would be green right now, meaning they'd all be running backs, and all the greens would be blue. And so people, it would, I would routinely go 0 RB because instead of getting, the running back 3 and the running back 4, I'd get the wide receiver 3 and the wide receiver 4, while everybody else is like, well, I got to get the wide receiver 12. I got to get the running back 12 or the running back 13 because I need a running back. But in this draft, it's kind of the opposite because I got the running back 3 and the running back 4. Like, I'm not going to settle for, the wide receiver 12 when I can get the running back 3 and the running back 4. We'll see how it plays out, though, now that I'm way behind the 8-ball at wide receiver in an endgame draft. That's going to be tough for sure.
Yeah, but this one is going pretty running back heavy. And look, we just saw Henry, Etienne, Barkley taken. It's almost 50-50. Now more receivers, but yeah. And then Julio's saying you could have waited in Bijan. No, he would have gone immediately, either your pick or he probably Austin would have taken him instead of Barkley. So
Austin would have. There's no way Bijan.
That's where he's going.
Back to me in that third. No way. Not in our drafts.
And it says he's never seen you go double RB. You have rarely, but you have. It's not never.
I don't do it often. I thought about Garrett Wilson over Jonathan Taylor, but it just felt too early for Garrett Wilson. I'm not that high on Devontae Adams. I do like AJ Brown, but again, it felt too high for AJ Brown too. It just felt too soon. I figured one of those guys would make it back to me. I was wrong.
And that's what you never know. You don't know what's going to happen here. All right, so now, I mean, I don't see. Well, actually, hold on, I'm not even going to say anything. Still a pick before my turn. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say there's no running back I would even consider, but there is one, and he's still out there. So
it's just crazy that he's still out there.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I'm going.
I feel like I feel like lately in these drafts, the 101 is almost like a cheat code. Like you just get you just come out of the first 3 picks with just an insane team at the 101, like, no matter what you do. I mean, Jefferson, Kenneth Walker, and Devonta Smith. That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Now, of course, we say this, and it doesn't always turn out that way. But
Sure.
look, if I'm taking a non-running back at the 1-1, I'm not worried about that bust. That like everyone thought Jonathan Taylor was safe last year. I'm not worried about Justin Jefferson. I feel really solid with Walker. I like Chubb too. I'm not a Chubb hater, and it's not like Walker catches a ton of passes compared to Chubb, but I'm still taking Walker first.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking Walker
Matt was
first.
saying he meant to go Walker.
Ooh, that hurts.
Well, it's okay.
I think because look, Chubb and Kenneth Walker are both kind of similar guys. They're both fantastic real life running backs. They both can score from almost anywhere on the field, right? Like 30, 40 yards out, they can score touchdowns. They don't have to get, not like Jamal Williams where they have to get, 17 1-yard touchdowns.
Right.
They're both going to catch probably like 30 to 35-ish passes or so. That's probably going to be about it. The difference is Kenneth Walker is 22 years old and doesn't have all the wear and tear, whereas Nick Chubb is 28 and has a ton of wear and tear. So look, we saw it last year. Breece Hall, Javonte Williams, any running back can get hurt. But the odds are stacked against the running backs who have 1,500 plus touches, multiple seasons of close to 300 touches. I would just prefer the younger guy for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, both very similar situations. To some extent, you could say Jacobs too. Keith saying it's kind of a coin flip for him. I'm not going to say Jacobs is wrong there. The thing is, with all these guys, they own the backfield. There's nobody breathing down their neck, for touches really. So, and these are teams that want to run the ball first and foremost. The thing is, we've heard now Cleveland, especially making moves at receiver, might pass the ball a little bit more than they have in the past. Like Seattle, we already know their offense is going to be exactly the same. Exactly the same. The Raiders, we don't know what their offense is going to look like next year because it's got a different quarterback. I don't think it'll be bad for Jacobs, though.
I would definitely have Jacobs over Chubb and Walker because of the pass catching. He caught a lot of passes last year, and you got to think, with Jimmy G, he should catch plenty of passes this year. Jimmy G's not a gunslinger. Jimmy G's not a guy who will eyes down the field and he'll take the check down, he'll take the easy throws. So for me, Jacobs clearly above those guys because of the reception. And again, this is a full PPR draft. If this was even in a half PPR, I'd still have Jacobs over. Even in standard, I'd probably still have Jacobs over him, honestly.
Austin letting time slip. What's up? Okay. Go with Watson there. Ridley before Watson. We've seen Ridley go earlier and earlier, 3rd round.
Yeah, that feels really early to me. And I like Ridley, but there is the risk that he hasn't played football in almost 2 years, and you gotta, and he's in a totally new situation. I do like the Jags offense, and I'm not I'm not off Calvin Ridley at all. I like Calvin Ridley. I just feel like that might be a little bit early for me.
Amari Cooper.
Yeah, it was between Cooper and Mike Williams. I feel like I had this decision last draft, so when he took Cooper, made my decision easy.
And I do agree this Watson and Njoku, we've been doing that stack all early offseason, especially grabbing Njoku as your last tight end, the last tight end off the board, I should say. Take Watson as the last quarterback or one of the fewest. I think Watson's getting a little bit of steam. Like he's going more like QB9 or 10 now. He's not like the QB12, but yeah, that's a nice cheap stack to have.
That's the one where if you don't get one of the good quarterbacks, he's one of the guys okay, I'll wait a little bit and I'll try to get him, and then yeah, you're right. Get Njoku to stack with him. That's solid. All right, well, for going RB. I like my first 2 wide receivers.
Very solid. I guess I'm going kind of anchor based on what's left here, and I'm pretty happy. I think, although there's several spots left, I think I'll still get a receiver I like on my next turn. But let's see what happens.
Yeah, definitely a steal on Pollard. I agree, Stinger. That is a steal. Honestly, that's good value on Jalen Hurts too. 4th round.
Yeah, actually, you know what? You're talking about drafting from the 1, drafting from the 12. Stinger made some great picks.
Yeah. Stinger's been crushing it this year in these drafts. Stinger's come a long way. He's come a long way for sure. He used to be the guy that was like, who took Darnell Mooney in the 3rd? Oh, Stinger. Oh, Stinger, of course. Who took? You know what I mean?
Now he's wisened up. He takes them in the 9th.
Exactly. He's been crushing these drafts for sure. Crushing them.
All right. There's Terry. Quarterback run.
Yep. Quarterback run.
All right. Let's see if it breaks like I think. I'm gonna hit you with a surprise stack.
Okay.
But we'll see. That's see. This is when I said that I was gonna go Fields and DJ Moore, but
that would have been a nice stack. That would have been a nice stack.
Yeah. All right. So just for that, I'm not gonna take Justin Fields. Herbert. Actually is. Oh, okay. Man, I just noticed Keenan Allen was taken kind of early 3rd.
Yeah. Got that report. They're going to be working on a deal for Herbert here pretty soon. An extension for Justin Herbert, apparently.
Oh yeah, they'll extend him for like the next decade. They love him. I don't take a lot of Christian Kirk, but I feel like 5th round, I'm okay with it. And I mean, that's when I feel like, seeing Ridley in the 3rd, like mid 3rd, and Kirk in the 5th, that's too big a gap.
Yeah, I like Kirk in the 5th for sure. He's got upside every single week. All right, I'm always gonna throw up a dynasty question. What would you want in return for Fields in Superflex?
Man, I mean,
let's go down. Let's go
first.
down. Let's go. I mean, it's always hard to say like players, but let's go with rookie picks. Fields or the 101 in Superflex?
Or the 101? In a Superflex, you stick with Fields.
I agree. Well, then I guess you're not taking any draft pick for Fields. If you're not taking the 101, I guess that discussion's over because you're not taking the 102, the 103, the 105.
I think it would take 2 firsts, like an early first and a late first, and it could be maybe a 24 or a 25. It doesn't have to be both from this draft class. But in a Superflex, I think it would take 2 first-round picks.
I think so too. Gotta be like 2 firsts, and I'd want one of the first to at least be top 3, so it guaranteed me. Probably guaranteed. I mean, assuming it guaranteed me either Bijan or one of the quarterbacks, right? So I would want one of the picks to at least be the 103, and then if they had a later first, okay, fine. But yeah, I'm not giving up Fields in Superflex for just 1 first. No way.
Well, think about it. If you're talking a rookie pick and maybe it's the 1-2 or the 1-3, you're basically trading Fields for Stroud or Fields for Young. Like, what's the point there?
Exactly.
You need something more than that. You get the guy who you know is proven, at least mostly proven. So I get doing that. If you're a rebuilding team, you take a chance on Stroud or Bryce Young, and you get another asset. Like, okay, I'm okay doing that because it's not like Fields is, you know, he's not like a Jalen Hurts. He's not at that level yet. He
Yet.
could be,
But
but
remember, going into last year, Jalen Hurts wasn't at that level yet.
right. So that's what I'm saying. You have to get one of those young quarterbacks and another first round worthy pick or player.
Exactly. I agree. I agree.
So is he saying he's asking what do you want in return for Fields? So he's
Let's keep
got the 1, 2, 3, 5, and he has Fields, or
just
he's
keep
just
Fields. Just keep
asking
Fields.
like what would he have to give up to get Fields?
Yeah, I mean, maybe you're asking what, so maybe you can offer. I mean, would I give up the 103 and the 105 for Fields? Ooh, that feels like it might be a little much. If you had like a later first.
Yeah, I mean if you had a later first round pick, or if you could defer it, make it like the 1-3 and then next year's first round pick.
Yeah, or if they have, maybe they have an early second. So if you could do like,
Yeah.
or even a mid second, if you could do the 103, the 105, and then they give you Fields in like their second this year or something like that. But they're going to get two. They're going to get one of the QBs and probably one of the top two wide receivers if you give them the 103 and the 105 for Fields. Assuming you're going after Fields. We don't really know. We're just trying to guess here.
Marquise going double Cardinals.
Maybe.
If Hopkins is still a Cardinal. All right. So loaded question here. We talked a whole lot, probably way too much about Michael Pittman last year in the preseason. So do you think post-type sleeper?
I think he's got the potential. I'm very curious to see his reception perception because last year it was awesome. Going into last year it was awesome. I don't know if he got worse this year or if it's just a situation in the way he was used. But also, we need to see what they do at QB. Do they draft a QB? Do they somehow pull the trigger for Lamar?
Yeah.
Is it really going to be Gardner Minshew? Like, if it's Gardner Minshew, that doesn't really excite me. Like, I think Gardner Minshew will be okay for him, but it's going to be another dink and dunk type of offense. He's not going to have that big playability, which that was the real thing. When you look at Matt Ryan last year, Matt Ryan was insanely accurate, but his passes were all insanely short. So
Right.
that was a frustrating thing because the year before, Matt Ryan was pretty good on the deep ball, and that's what I was hoping for with Pittman was like, okay, Carson Wentz, terrible on the deep ball. Matt Ryan, good on the deep ball. Pittman, a big wide receiver. You can use him in the vertical passing game, and they just couldn't. And that it didn't help that the offensive line had no time to throw, right? They just had to, like, basically snap it and throw it, snap it and throw it. So he does have good metrics, or he did going into last year. I'm very curious to see, what the Colts do at quarterback. But I'm still keeping the faith on Pittman.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the quarterback matters. I don't see any way the Colts going with Gardner Minshew as a starter. I mean, I think they make a move. This seems like a team. Everything was done so desperately at the end of last year, right? With Irsay, it feels like they are going to do something at quarterback. If it's not Lamar, I don't know, draft one of these rookies or make a move somehow. But as far as Pittman, I think what's also something we have to think about is new coaching staff also. And there's the whole contract situation. Keeps saying he wants to get extended, and it doesn't sound like they want to. It doesn't sound like there was something came out, the GM saying they don't necessarily view him as a true wide receiver one. Like, I think what they mean is wide receiver one money. So, I mean, is he playing for a contract? Is he playing disgruntled? Are they going to maybe try to go away from him, go somewhere else. There's a lot of question marks in Indy. That's what makes me worry a little bit about Pittman.
I would probably like him more if they did trade him.
Well, yeah, I mean, that would be great. I mean, this is one of those guys that probably nobody's going to talk about. Like you say, AJ Brown. Nobody was talking about AJ Brown getting traded before the draft last year. Maybe Pittman is one of those players that does, go on the move. But
Marquise Brown.
Yeah.
You get to draft day and a team that really needs a wide receiver. Maybe they have one of the later round picks. Then their top 3 or 4 wide receivers have already been drafted. They say, fine, let's just pull a trade for Pittman. We'll get Pittman some treat. The Colts trade up out of the second round or whatever, back into the first round. Give up Pittman. You never know. That's what happened last year, right? The Cardinals said, hey, we need another wide receiver. Let's get Hollywood. So
yep.
It's gonna happen. Like there's gonna be more trades. And I wouldn't mind if Pittman was one of them.
No. It'd be great for him. A lot of these receivers now, they basically kind of force their way out, and a lot of it is, the connections. It's a thing. I think it's still going to be a thing, right? Because Hollywood wanted to play with Kyler Murray because of the Oklahoma thing. So I was like, okay, so who's Michael Pittman's college quarterback at USC? I'm trying to think. Is he in the league?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I don't think so. Because the only SC quarterback I could think of that's actually still in the league is Sam Darnold, right?
Sam Darnold.
And Sam Darnold was way before Pittman.
Yeah. Would you actually request to go play with Sam Darnold if you were a receiver?
No. And the 49ers are never going to trade for a wide receiver.
I'm looking up. They actually did play together. Michael Pittman and Sam Darnold. His freshman year.
Well, I'm guessing Pittman was like a freshman or something.
He was a freshman. Yep.
Yeah. So he probably had like 30 catches.
So Pittman forces his way to San Francisco to play with his former freshman college quarterback, who is the backup there.
Yes.
That's the narrative.
And a team that already has 2 very good wide receivers, a very good tight end, and a pass-catching running back.
Right. But forget all that. All right. I don't love this, but I'm going for value here.
I don't hate it.
I know. Okay, let's see.
Royland, what's up? Can't draft this week. Be back on next week. All right, we'll miss you, but happy you got on here. He said he's loving the baseball videos.
Nice. Yeah, I think he joined the league. Did he join? Guys, by the way,
you're asking the wrong guy.
If you do, yeah, like you don't know. If you do play fantasy baseball, check out Fantasy Endgame, the baseball league, the baseball channel, and we have a league drafting tomorrow because tomorrow is the last night before opening day.
Now, Keith wants to know, why is everybody so low on Mixon?
Because we think he's going to get cut by the Bengals.
I know, but I'm starting to have my doubts. Like, why haven't they done it yet?
Yeah, I mean, the filling out process, right, between now and the NFL draft, see what they think they can do. It's not guaranteed. It's just speculation, but he was also just less efficient last year.
Yeah, I mean, outside of that one game where he scored 5 touchdowns and dropped that 50-pointer, he really wasn't that good. I'm fine with him at the 6'10". Like, I'm totally fine. I would still go Swift over him. Sure, Mixon probably has a higher weekly floor. Or Mixon has a higher weekly floor than Swift. But I'd rather go for a guy like Swift who could, maybe, if things break right, have a massive ceiling. But I'm okay. In a vacuum, I'm okay with Mixon at the 6'10". Like, I think Mixon at the 6'10" is fine.
I mean, if he does stay in Cincy and they don't add any serious competition, which if they keep him, they probably won't. I think he could still be low end RB2.
Yeah, Exactly. He's a floor guy, right? He's a floor guy.
Zeke 2 years ago. That's probably not too off base.
It's probably not, honestly. It's probably not.
All right, here, since only because somebody else mentioned it. Shameless plug. Baseball, you like it, you love it, you want more of it.
There you go.
There you go. It's still the fantasy end game, just with a bat and a round ball instead.
And the injuries are like, I tripped over the curb walking my dog, so I'm out for three. I'm out for 3 months.
Once in a while, the best is, and then this guy plays for the Marlins now. Jesus Luzardo, was it last year, 2 years ago? He fractured his hand slamming the controller because he was playing a video game and he was angry. I think because he lost, so he went bah, landed on the injured list.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
Like I've done that, but I don't get paid to pitch. So
yeah.
Okay. Is it insane to see Kelsey go at the 1-1?
I think it's insane.
Not insane, but not necessary.
Yeah.
Unless it's tied in premium. Good.
Yeah,
point.
if it's tied in premium, then I would say less insane. It's still kind of insane, even in tight end premium, but I would say less insane.
But it's actually really common because I know I played some FFPC mainly last year and year before for best ball. That's a tight end premium format. You see Kelsey go in the top 3 more often than not, and I've seen him go at the 1-1. It's not unusual. This is a good point. Mixon will not last that long in most leagues.
Yeah, that's true. In most leagues, he's not going to last that long. That's for sure. Huh. Is he still on the board? Nope. I'm going to have to... Actually, both the guys behind me already have QBs, so... All right.
Sniping the stinger.
I don't know if I love that pick, but probably not my favorite pick. I thought about Tony. Maybe I should have gone Tony there. Shoot for the upside. My wide receiver 5.
It's a solid pick. I mean, more of a floor pick than anything, but that's fine. I mean, he's your fifth receiver?
Yeah, it's not terrible.
No. But now Stinger's scrambling because he had that pick queued up. You know he did. All right. I'm taking shots. He's saying Burks at the 7-1 is early. Maybe a little early. I like Bateman too, but I feel like he's still there. It's a little early. I mean, this is kind of the dead zone for receivers now. I mean, you were just looking through the list here. It's all kind of a crapshoot at this point.
Yeah, a lot of crapshoots at both positions, honestly. And we've had a serious tight end run here, so.
Oh, there goes another.
And I was thinking about QB there, but the guys behind me both had QB, so I figured I could wait. But I still don't know if I want to wait here.
I like that Algier pick. I think that's smart to backing up Connor because Connor is just kind of Algier got more upside on a weekly basis. See,
you might want to check the board. He's been drafted.
Yeah.
He was a 7-6. The tight ends go very late in our drafts. Very late. But honestly, this is where I think is appropriate for tight ends. Honestly.
Yeah, this is kind of where they should be.
Outside of Kelsey, of course.
See, I knew it.
I sniped you. I mean, we talk about it, but if you look at the tight ends last year, you had Kittle averaged 13, Hawkinson averaged 12, Andrews averaged 12, Goddard averaged 11. They're like, they score outside of Kelsey, who of course averaged 18. They're like flex players. They're like good flex players. So why do people draft tight ends in like the third or fourth round when there's still so many players with, massive upside in those rounds? I just don't get it. I think this is the appropriate spot for tight ends that aren't named Travis Kelce.
Yeah, and who specifically can you really get that jacked up for? I mean, look, if Lamar Jackson leaves Baltimore and they already have a different offensive system going in place, like, are we going to be too high on Mark Andrews? Not just again, but like by far. I can see his numbers dropping.
Yeah, if Lamar leaves. I think people are a little too high on Hawkinson as well.
Hawkinson, I kind of understand, but really, don't we think the Vikings are going to do something at receiver before it's all said and done?
Well, yeah, and look, if you take out his 40-point game that he had in Detroit and his 35-point game that he had in Minnesota, probably won't go 30-plus in any game next year because that's extremely rare. Like, did Kelce even go? Kelce never even went 30. He went 30-plus once last year. Like, okay, Kelce went 30-plus twice. Like, that's extremely rare for a tight end to go 30-plus. He only went over 12 1, 2, twice the whole season. That's it.
Yeah.
Only two games over 12 points. Like, he was, like, I don't know where this thing coming where everybody's like, Hawkinson was, like, so incredible last year. Like,
he's
he's
one of those guys.
End, yes.
I think like he's one of those players that everybody still kind of like will always be waiting to just like smash and just destroy fantasy. Like all of a sudden he's just going to be the guy. Like I don't think it's ever going to happen. It hasn't happened yet. Like why is it going to happen now?
I mean, I think he'll be good, but again, he'll be good. For a tight end.
I think people see like he has this next level that he hasn't reached yet. Like what is he waiting for? Like if it hasn't happened, it's not going to happen. I can buy that argument for Kyle Pitts because he's so young and because he hasn't been in a good situation. But for Hawk, I think it's pretty clear what he is.
Yeah, no, Royland is totally right here. In most drafts, in most leagues, you're going to have Andrews still probably, you're going to have Hawkinson probably going in the second or third round. Andrews probably still going in the third round. Kittle probably going in the third round. Because people talk themselves into like, I got to get that tight end. But really, it's like, what was the difference, like if you had Njoku last year, he averaged 2 less points per game. And he had,
exactly. I feel like they have to get that advantage at the position. But when you look at it, if it's not Kelce, you really aren't getting an advantage. That's what people don't realize. Like Pat Freiermuth will be just as good, almost as good as pretty much all these guys.
Yeah, unless a tight end has a breakout like we saw with Andrews 2 years ago, or like we saw with Ertz back in the day when he set the reception record, or Kittle year 2. Unless they have like they have that kind of a breakout season. Or I remember that one year where Eric Ebron scored like 15 touchdowns. He had like 25 catches, but he had like 15. Like every week he was scoring 1 or 2 touchdowns. Like unless they do that. But Eric Ebron that year was going very late, so it doesn't matter because he went very late.
That's exactly the point. Is those guys you got as a league winner, they were great value because they were going late. They weren't known as elite tight ends or elite fantasy. So yeah, you should take a shot on one of these guys who you think could be that breakout guy, and then you're not burning an early pick. Like, I don't know. I don't think it'll be Dalton Schultz in Houston. I don't think it's going to be Darren Waller. And he already had his breakout years ago. But some of these guys are still out here. Some of these guys we don't ever talk about. there's one guy I like that I made drafts in the last round, but uh, yeah, I'll just wait.
Yeah, I mean nobody was drafting Evan Ingram last year. Nobody was drafting David Njoku last year. I know some people in best ball, deep best ball leagues, were drafting those guys, but really, nobody drafted. Komet, another guy I think could be one of those late round tight ends this year that pays off.
You know what? That's smart. Though I will say this, I thought last year was going to be the Komet like big breakout, and he was good. Like he was actually like usable in fantasy finally. But now I'm a little worried because they have DJ Moore and Chase Claypool, and they're going to get somebody else in the draft probably. So I don't know that it'll happen for Komet this year necessarily. I think he's still startable though. And of course, we did talk about Njoku earlier. Someone will take him eventually. Deshaun Watson, I think he'll be a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, I think so. I could see him being top 5, honestly. You know, it's easy to forget. Like every year outside of his rookie year, he was a top 5 QB, and then he didn't play football for 2 years, and then he had to deal with all this stuff over his head, and then he came back to a new coaching staff, a new team, totally knew everything. He's gonna have a full offseason with the team, with the coaches. Not gonna have to worry about, not gonna have to answer as many questions and have the possible suspension hanging over his head. Just be able to focus on football. I think he bounces back. Definitely top 10 this year.
Yeah, which makes him the great late round quarterback. If you're waiting, he's the guy you should be targeting, honestly.
Yeah.
Although I don't know how late you'll be able to wait. Like I said, when we were starting our early mocks, like January, February, like right after the Super Bowl, yeah, Watson was either not drafted or he was the last quarterback drafted. Now you see he's kind of creeping up here. He went in rounds, 8 here? The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th quarterback. So he's being drafted as a top 10 quarterback. Now, of course, it depends on the league. A lot of that's because, endgame drafters are pretty savvy. Yeah, is there a draft where Cheeks hasn't taken Damian Harris? Got 3 seconds.
I know. That was a bit of a panic pick.
I
don't know if somebody else, if another running back I like is on the board. I didn't have time to search for him.
Taking a rookie running back is always a good last fallback.
Yeah, but I do like Kendry. I think people are like, I don't understand why he's not getting any buzz. I do like him a lot, but yeah. I don't think Kyler Murray's worth drafting in a single QB league.
No. We were already hearing stuff that he might appear until like halfway through the season. So think about when he does come back and he's ready. Like, how much is he going to run? How good is he going to be? No. I'm not touching Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Then actually noticed this earlier from Young Money because I've been taking Brian Robinson a lot. Thinks he's going to be this year's Dameon Pierce. Is that a Commanders fan take, or you see? Well, I can't ask you because you're also a Commanders fan. So,
well, I definitely think it's a Commanders fan take, and I do like Brian Robinson, but I'm curious how he's going to be this year's Dameon Pierce when he's not a rookie. Like, shouldn't he have been last year's Dameon Pierce when they were both rookies?
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's not like the ideal comp. I'm trying to think. I do think Robinson, and I've said this before, he's going to be their main back. He's going to be the goal line back. I think he's going to get enough touches where he could be a kind of a set and forget RB2 if you're searching more for floor. I don't think he has league winning upside, but
no.
If you're waiting late on your RB2, which is a good idea usually, I'm fine with him. Guy like him and Algier, I see is kind of comparable.
That's what I was gonna say. I could see him, even though I know Algier was a rookie last year too, but I could see him being more like Algier this year. But even then, like Antonio Gibson is better than Cordero Patterson. So I don't know. I think Brian Robinson is just gonna, like you said, he's gonna be one of those guys, serviceable. Probably needs a touchdown to really have a ceiling. I don't really see a path for him. Without
they didn't seem very interested in throwing him the ball, and it's not because J.D. McKissick was out there doing it, because he wasn't on the field. It's just, I don't know. I thought that was something that he would do at least somewhat in the NFL. Okay, he means in terms of value, like where you get them. Yeah, that's.
Well, remember, Dameon Pierce was only a value until training camp, and he started garnering buzz, and then he was going in like the 6th, 7th round, I think, in a lot of drafts. But I get what you mean. But look, I wouldn't want him to be Dameon Pierce. I feel like kind of like T.J. Hawkinson. People think Dameon Pierce was better than he was last year. Like, I had Dameon Pierce in like 2 leagues. And it got to the point where I was contemplating dropping Dameon Pierce before he got hurt. I'm like, I can't even start this guy anymore. He doesn't catch any passes. Can't score touchdowns in this offense. Has to go for 150 yards, basically. Or you just get like kind of a meh game from him. And he had those 2 games in a row where he got like, I think he combined for like 3 points. So,
yeah. Like first half of the season, he was really good, and then just like I said, fell off, then got hurt. But I think last year going into, because he got so much preseason hype, as a rookie, I think he was overvalued last year. I think he's going to be a little undervalued this year because it's like post hype.
I don't know. We get a lot of comments. People always I see a lot of comments. People saying like, "Oh, that's too low for Dameon Pierce." Like, I think people are really high on Dameon Pierce right now.
Maybe people are still too high on him.
The Texans have 3, assuming they don't like pull off a Lamar trade or something. The Texans have 3 picks in the first 33 and 5 picks in the first 65. I think there's at least a 50% chance they draft a running back with one of those 5 picks. We'll see, but it's a lot of picks. That's 5 picks in the top 65.
Yeah, they got other needs, but yeah, I know what you're saying. It wouldn't be shocking.
No, because they could go. Assuming they don't make a trade for Lamar, they could go QB defense in the first. If you watched our top 12 rookies, I have them taking Jahmyr Gibbs at pick 33. Again, assuming that they hold on to all their picks, which wouldn't kill Pierce, but it would just lock him into that basically between the tackles early down guy with Gibbs being the pass catching, change of pace guy.
If that doesn't kill his fantasy value, it would be like a near fatal wound. It would definitely hurt. It would definitely hurt.
Yeah, but what I mean, it's not like if they drafted Bijan, which would kill his fantasy value. It'd be gone. It'd be done.
Well, yeah.
Like done. He's like pure handcuff. Pure handcuff now. But at least with Gibbs, because it's like, okay, Gibbs is not going to be a guy that's going to run the ball on short yardage. Definitely not going to run the ball on goal line. Not going to run between the tackles. So at least Pierce would still have that role. But yes, it would hurt his value for sure. But I think it would be worse. I think it would be worse if they drafted somebody like Charbonnet, because now, Pierce may become a handcuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see that happening. I think you like Pierce. There's nothing to dislike about what he did last year. Again, they have so many needs on defense. So, could be wrong though. What do you think about this? No, has anybody talked Bijan to Baltimore? Look, if they're drafting in the first round and going offense, it's got to be a receiver, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't see Bijan to Baltimore. They already have Dobbins. Like, I don't think. I think running back might be a need for them, but probably later in the draft. Like, I don't think Baltimore is looking at their team and thinking like, okay, you know, we need first round draft capital on a running back.
Yeah. A lot of people are mocking Zay Flowers to the Ravens. Makes perfect sense. Yeah. Okay, what about Chase Brown? Good speed, hard runner. Don't know how tough of a runner is. That's something the knock on him is that, you know, he may not be like an inside the tackles kind of guy. But then again, based on this year's running back class, I think he could still be a guy who makes some impact.
Yeah, I do think he's going under the radar, for sure. But I don't think he's going under the radar as much as this guy is going under the radar. I'm gonna keep talking about this guy. I don't understand.
Israel.
He's as fast as Devin Ashane, 30 pounds heavier. He's got that Kenneth Walker. Not saying he's as good as Kenneth Walker, but he's got that Kenneth Walker where he can like one cut and just boom, he's gone to the house. He can actually handle. He's 216 pounds. He's not 188 pounds. He's 216. A workhorse running back. Like, why? What? I don't understand. Like, I mean, look, we'll have more clarity after the draft. If he falls in the draft, okay. But right now, to me, it's like, just I guess because he didn't do anything at the combine because he had like a minor hamstring tweak, and he said he's going to do everything at his pro day. So I think after his pro day, he's going to probably run sub 4.4 at 216. Probably going to have close to a 38-inch vert, I'm guessing. Yeah, I don't understand. To me, he's one of the best value rookie running backs right now, for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely going under the radar. And this guy, I think because people don't see him as a burner, like having that pure speed like a Shane does, you know, that he's not as exciting, but he's probably going to be a little bit more of a efficient overall back in the NFL. And what I said about him, you know, way back when is I like that he's kind of slippery. Like, you know, he's not a guy necessarily who makes defenders miss, but I think he knows how to find the hole and avoid the tackles and use his speed in a smart way. I think he's a good runner. And that's what I look for, really, is everyone gets obsessed with 40 times and speed. We don't talk about the thing that you can't measure, really, which is vision. And that's why you have to watch how they run. And that's why I loved Kenneth Walker so much last year. He knows how to find the lanes. He knows one cut and gone because he knows where to cut and he knows how to cut. That's what I like about Kenneth Walker. And that's kind of, again, not comparing Abanaconda to Kenneth Walker, not saying he's the next Walker, but I think he has some similar kind of okay, never mind.
Well, he has that, like, no, he's not as polished as Kenneth Walker, of course, but he has that same trait where he can get the ball. It could be designed to go one way. He sees the hole the other way. He can plant and he's gone.
Right.
And those are the nice thing about running backs like that, especially in fantasy, they can score from anywhere. They don't need to be inside the 5. They can get the ball at the 40. One cut, gone, and he's got the juice to take it to the house. The problem for a guy like a Shane, he's never gonna what is he? He's 188 pounds. Like, he's not gonna get enough opportunities to do that. He might do that once or twice a year. He'll probably return like some kicks and punts for touchdowns, I'm sure. I just don't. I don't know. I don't understand the love for a Shane.
He's fast.
That's it. I mean, he's fast. And another thing about a Shane, and I talked about this in the article I wrote today, which was part 1. He only had a 33-inch vert. That's like only 5 running backs had a shorter vertical than him. Like, that's a better indicator. Like, the 40-yard dash is more like you could be. And look, he did have a good 10-yard split, but it was basically right there with like Bijan. It wasn't like he had this amazing 10-yard split. But like 40-yard dash, you could be a guy who like the last 20 yards is just a burner, right? You're like a burner those last 20 yards. How often in the NFL are you going to get to that point where you can get to that top end speed like you do in a 40-yard dash? The vert is one of the true things that really is a great measurement for true explosiveness, because you are jumping from basically the ground up into the air, and that really shows how explosive you are. So his vert was only 33. Like I said, only 5 running backs had a shorter vertical than him. He's fast. He's like track fast. He's track fast. But that doesn't mean like this is the NFL. This isn't a track race. This is the NFL. You gotta get past those big dudes on the line first.
Yeah, there's few players who are so fast they can just completely avoid getting touched. I mean, yeah. All right, so.
Well, I mean, the ones who are like Tyreek Hill, but Tyreek Hill doesn't play running back.
Right.
Tyreek Hill doesn't have to run through.
He gets the ball with momentum, catching it in stride in the open field. A little different.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to take the tight end I was hinting at earlier, guy who could break out and be a nice pick. And then I'm not above pandering, so there you go. Chase Brown.
There you go. Well, at least you made it. It's the end of the draft, but at least you made it. And the nice thing about showing up at the end of the draft, even though you didn't get to draft, is you get to see the full draft board. You can just check out the draft board. So I guess that's glass half full, I guess. What are our thoughts on Tyjae Spears?
I've only seen a little bit about him. I think he's another guy who kind of gets a little right because of speed, right? He's like, oh, he's fast. But does he have what it takes at the next level? Because he's also, he didn't go up against his major competition. So, numbers might have been a little inflated. Talented, of course, but, I worry whether he'll have a full-time role ever in the NFL.
Look, I talk about weight for running back a lot because it matters a lot. It really matters. Like, you go back and look, there's not a lot of guys sub 210, sub 205. And he weighed what? Like, what did he weigh? 200? 201? Something like that?
I have to check. Maybe not even.
Maybe not even. I don't know. But there's not a lot of running backs that you can look at. Man. Hold on. I don't really like this tight end spot. But I guess Schultz is going to be my guy. All right.
Well, he's 201, so barely made the cutoff.
Okay, 201. Like, there's not a lot of running backs that, over history. And there are some. But it's the odds are stacked against you when you're 201. That you're going to be a workhorse, at the next level. You're going to be successful. For a guy like him, he's one of those guys, I mean, draft capital matters a lot anyways, and where he lands matters a lot too, but, I don't know. We'll see.
And we're done.
We're done. I tend to be maybe a little too risk averse to the smaller running backs because there's just not a lot of them succeed.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's so many. The one thing I've learned is just to not get too excited about rookies, to be honest, because all these guys are talented coming out. They all put up big numbers, and there's only a small handful of guys who are really going to make an impact. I mean, there's so many players that you think have a chance, and they don't even make a team. You know what I mean? But get drafted, much less make an impact. So Spears maybe, but my guess is he'll be like a number 2 or 3 running back on some team, kind of like a depth guy. Yeah. All right, so let's see what we got here. Oh, wait. Big shout out to the not so silent majority signed up for Flock Fantasy. This is exactly what I talked about at the beginning. This is a good time to mention before we go over the results here. If you didn't get in this mock, you want to draft with us, let's say, I don't know, tomorrow. You can do it by guaranteeing yourself a spot if you are in the Discord, which you get in the Discord by being a member, by going to mockfantasy.com/endgame. The link should be in the description right down below. If you're on the stream right now or watching this later, you just click it and there it is. You can get a free trial, right? 2-day free trial, 30% off any subscription right now throughout the preseason for a limited time if you use the code endgame. But you click that link, it takes you right there. The work is done for you. All right. Somebody thinks he has a good team. I don't know.
I'm gonna hit him with a cast iron skillet. How about that?
Yeah, hit him. Which by the way, quick props, Austin. I did see one of your videos the other day. Made me hungry for some biscuits. Not gonna lie. All right, team one. That's me. I like it. What about you?
Yeah, I would hope you like it. Let's hide this so I can see it. All right, Jefferson, Walker, Smith. I'm a little surprised Herbert over Fields, but I guess if you like Herbert more. Kirk, Swift, I like that. I know Burks is your guy. Addison, Brian Robinson, Bigsby, Mechie, Chig, Chase Brown. Threw a bone to Young Money. It's a solid team. I mean, it's a really good team, honestly. It's a really good team. I just probably would have gone Fields over Herbert, but that's just me.
Yeah, I was so disappointed I didn't get the more stack, so I just pivoted. All right.
I can't have the more field stack. I'm not even going to draft them.
Basically. All right. Team two. So that was our replacement.
Yep.
For the stomach worm that did not show up. All right. So we went Eckler and then Chubb. Solid at running back. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and then you got Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, which may or may not be a stack. Mike Evans, Cortland Sutton, Kamara, Fournette, Kareem Hunt. So I'm going to come out and say this is like a dominant team in like 2020. Was it 2019 maybe? This was like championship team. I'm not saying it's bad now, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think there's some reaches here. I mean, I like the Moore pick. I think the Andrews pick is fine. I like this. I think the Sutton pick is fine, but I think like there are definitely some reaches on this team for sure.
I just think, like I'm fine with Kamara there, maybe worth a shot, but then, Fournette and Hunt, again, these are guys who are now losing their grip on a starting job, if anything, don't even know where they're going to play. It's worth it to go upside, go a little younger, get a rookie running back instead. You might say, well, I don't know, Tank Bigsby. I don't know if he's going to, play. He might actually wind up being really good, but we know Fournette's probably not, you know what I mean? So just a little bit more upside, a little more youth, I think would have been better. And then Keith went Jamar Chase, Josh Jacobs, DK, Pittman, took Fields, let him slip there, took Mixon, Jameson, Rashad White, Elijah Moore, Singletary, Osborne, Kmet, and then Pirine. So pretty well balanced, I'd say. Got Fields and Kmet. That's a good stack.
Yeah, I got the stack. Getting Fields at that point is really good. I mean, I like this team. I don't necessarily like love every pick, but I think for where you got the guys, you got good values. It's a good team. It's got upside. It's got potential. I like that team.
I will say, look, if your picks like Jameson Williams and Elijah Moore, if those guys hit, that'll pay off big. And then Mixon, we'll see. Who knows what'll happen with Mixon? Could turn out to be a nice pick. All right, the fantasy sleeper. We have Tyreek Hill, Olave, Breece Hall, and then Burrow, JSN, Sanders, Pitts, Cooks, Dillon, Jamal Williams, Gallup, Sean Tucker, and Tyler Boyd. I don't see Tyler Boyd drafted too much.
No, I don't see Tyler Boyd drafted too much. Again, another one where I don't necessarily like. I definitely would have taken Swift over Sanders and Mixon, and for me, I would have taken him over Pierce too, just because. Again, I'd rather gamble on the potential upside of Swift rather than guys that I feel like maybe have like decent floors but not a lot of upside. But where you got these guys is good. I think that pitch value is great. I'm probably okay with. I mean, I'm okay with Breece Hall in the third, but me personally, I would rather take Ramondre and Pollard over him just because they're not coming off an ACL injury, and I like them. But I think in the third is fair. Can't really complain too much about the second half of the draft. I'm kind of off Gallup now that they added Cooks, and I've never really been on Boyd, but it's a solid team.
Yeah, I'll say I like that a receiver. This team has a lot of weekly upside. I mean, you have some huge home run hitters with Hill, Olave, and potentially with Smith and Jigba. And Cooks is not bad too. It's running back is where it's risky. Yeah, I would have taken Pollard probably over Hall. Swift or Mixon instead of Sanders. Not bad, but just running back is a little iffy. But you got some good upside. All right, Hulk smash. Took CMC at the 5. Higgins, Debo, and then went young at receiver with Quentin Johnson and Dotson, and then Myers. Aaron Jones is the RB2, Penny the RB3, and then Mitchell. There's Mitchell, a little later at least, and then Deontay Foreman. Surprise Foreman lasted to the final round. All right, so Josh Allen and Hawkinson. I feel like it's another pretty balanced team.
Yeah, balanced team. I like it. I don't love it. I don't know. I feel like it's a good team, but I don't know. It's a good team. I mean, I'm not knocking it. It's a good team. I think it's the best I can say about it. It's a good team.
I feel like, in this draft, it was everyone. I mean, I don't think there was any dramatic falls. I don't think there's any really bad reaches. I think it's going to be pretty even across the board. Let's see. That is Kejar Tanari.
Tanari, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Welcome.
All right, so Team 6. Win Cooper Kupp, Derrick Henry, Pat Mahomes, McLaurin, Godwin, and then Bateman with Pierce as the RB2, Kittle at tight ends, Javonte Herbert, Wilson, Rondell Moore, Hunter Renfrow. So I kind of, again, not dissing in any way, but I feel like this was a team where if you had this 2 years ago, you won your league. Is this team going to win this year?
Yeah, I don't know. We don't see Rondell Moore and Hunter Renfrow drafted too often. I feel like this team is mostly safe-ish, if that makes sense. Like I don't feel like there's a lot of guys that give you tremendous. I mean, obviously Mahomes, but like even Kupp. Like, I don't feel like he gives you tremendous weekly upside. Henry doesn't really give you tremendous weekly upside anymore. I mean, they give you upside, but not like that crazy. I don't feel like there's anybody on this team that gives you that, can win you a week by themselves. So I think it's a solid team, but I would like to see some more shots on guys that could potentially win you weeks.
And I will say, if all remains the same in Tennessee, Derrick Henry still is that guy who can win you a week by himself, 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. He still has that in him as far as we know. But the thing is with Kupp, you look at it and you might just say, Kupp, Henry, I win. I mean, think about it. If Kupp is healthy and Henry's healthy, you're probably not getting 2,000-yard season Kupp, and you're probably not getting 2,000-yard season Henry both at the same time, if either. So, yeah. It's solid though. Again, I have no complaints about this team. I think it's pretty good. And then Sunday cookout went Kelsey at the 7, Etienne, Ridley, Monty, Cook, Juju, Hyatt, Thielen, Zeke, Lazard, OBJ, Woods, and Kyler Murray.
Talk about being good in 2019. This team is probably great in like 2018. Yeah, I don't know. I know he said he meant to take Walker over Etienne, but I mean Monty in the 4th, Cook in the 5th, Juju. I do like Hyatt. Hopefully he'll land somewhere good, but then like Thielen, Zeke, Lazard. I mean Beckham. I have no hope for Beckham this year, to be honest. Woods. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this team went off the rails as soon as that Etienne pick was made. I can't say I'm a fan of this team.
Yeah, I just honestly, this would probably be if I had to pick a team here, this would probably be my last pick because these are all guys that I feel are going too early. Etienne, of course, I wouldn't touch him before several of those running backs. Ridley, I think, is going too high. I like Monty, but I think you could have waited around. Dalvin Cook, we've seen him go in rounds, 6 or 7 in a lot of our mocks. In real life, he probably won't. But again, if you already had 2 running backs, why take a third when it's a 3 wide receiver format? And then I'm not I'm not in on Juju. Not on Thielen. Pretty much the only guy I kind of like that I would take was Hyatt
Yeah.
and Kelsey.
But it still feels really early for Hyatt.
Yeah, actually,
point.
that's true. It is a little early for Hyatt also.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's see. Is this a 10 out of 10? Or is it a 10 out of 100? We went Stephon Diggs at the 8. We took Barkley in the second round. That's good. Watson, London Pickens. Interesting youth upside. Jameer Gibbs. Keeping it very young today, aren't we? Like Gibbs and then Charbonnet as RB2 and 3. Good value on Goddard. Sky Moore, Khalil Shakir. And then
I like that pick.
I can't tell if that last pick is serious or not. Daniel Jones as your quarterback.
I don't know if this team is a 10, but I definitely like it. A lot of upside. Wide receivers, every one of those wide receivers. Well, we'll see with Drake London. I know people are really excited for Drake London in year 2, but man, if it's Desmond Ridder again, like I don't care what his target share is. If the targets are terrible, it doesn't really matter. But a lot of upside on this team at wide receiver, at running back. It's a good team. It's not a 10, but it's a very good team.
I don't see Daniel Jones as a starting quarterback in fantasy personally, but whatever. You could have taken somebody else. I like what you did at wide receiver a lot. You have Diggs as kind of your staple there, and you have a ton of young guys that could go off. So I like that. I like that strategy. Just go pure upside there at receiver. You could say, well, you could have taken Cooper over Watson, but I'm fine with what you did there. And I like that you have same thing at running back. You got your guy, kind of your anchor at Barkley, and then you went young because either Gibbs or Charbonnet hits, you're set. So I like that. And Goddard, I'm good. It's just the quarterback thing. So I think it's I don't know. Are we putting numbers on these anymore? Do we put a number?
No, we don't do numbers on them anymore. But it wouldn't be a 10.
It wouldn't be a 10.
Like a 10. I gotta feel like every pick was just like, yeah, every pick was a knockout.
Yes, thank you for that. I wasn't gonna say specific names, but I do have to agree with that. All right. And a shout out from Big Tips. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Big Tips. And if you want to drop a tip, just kidding. That was a dad joke right there. Even though I'm not a dad, I guess I'm a dad of dogs.
This will be a good time to just mention, by the way, if you see it down there below, flockfantasy.com/endgame. Join the community, get in the Discord, the brand new and improved Discord, and also get all that bonus stuff that you see. I'll let you read that on the ticker as I go on to team, let's see, 10? No, 9. Your team 10.
9. Yep.
Sam, win CeeDee Lamb, Sun God, Cooper. That's a nice starting trio. He's the only one who went receiver in his first 3 picks. Interesting. We see less of that. I feel like we're getting less of that. So then went Najee and Akers. I'm liking it. Deontay, Pacheco, Watson, Ingram, Downs, Madison, Palmer. This might be my favorite team so far because it's got a lot of my favorite players. Is that just me?
That's what I was going to say, too. I mean, great upside at wide receiver there with those first 3. Getting Najee as your RB1 in the 4th is really good. Akers as your RB2 is fine. Deontay is like your flex. Pacheco, Deshaun, Ingram, take shots. I mean, maybe the only pick I don't like here is Josh Palmer because I just don't see how a role for Josh Palmer with Keenan healthy. But, Keenan might not stay healthy. So, but other than that, I like all these picks. This is definitely my favorite team so far, for sure. Good team. Very good team.
Well, that's good to say. I mean, we know Herbert's there, of course. Maybe Eckler leaves. I mean, we saw Keenan Allen hurt, and we saw Mike Williams both hurt at separate times last year. Palmer was serviceable for a few different weeks. So, at that point, it's fine. But, yeah, I like this team a lot. Probably the only pick I don't personally love is the Pacheco pick. I would have taken Algier or Charbonnet or Cook. But, again, I like this team overall a lot. All right, you getting the early dubs? Dub gets the dub. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you're going to be on your bench to start the season, but for how long?
Sure.
All right. So, Chris, you went. Let's double check. Make sure this is your team, right? This is 2 running backs in the first 2 picks. All right.
I did. I took the value that was there.
You did. And that's good value. JT and Bijan. And then let's see the receivers, right? Mike Williams, DeAndre Hopkins, Marquise Brown, Jerry Jeudy, Darnell Mooney. Veterans, solid. Any thought to mixing up with youth? Because you could have gone London, or you could have gone, somebody a little younger on the way back, a rookie or something. This feels like a very veteran receiver group for you.
Well, yeah. There wasn't really. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I could have gone Jackson Smith over Jeudy. But I don't know. I don't think there's really anybody there. Like, I'm not. I don't know. We'll see with London. Maybe I'm too low on London, but it's not that London isn't talented. It's that he's stuck in Atlanta. So I think I feel good about Hopkins, whether he's in Arizona or he gets traded.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not a bad pick or anything. I'm just trying to feel out the thought process. Okay, you got Dak. That's good value late. Of course, you got your guy, Israel. And then Schultz in the last round. I did think about Schultz, but that's great value for where you got your quarterback and your tight end. So, I mean, you're definitely a contender. I don't see how you don't make the playoffs with this team.
Well,
all right.
I got 2 running backs who could get hurt at any moment, and my season's over. But.
Yeah, we're not putting that on anybody. That vibe. All right, nobody's getting hurt at all this NFL season.
That would be awesome.
This is like Madden when you turn injuries off, right?
Yeah, that would be great.
All right, we'll get to Singer's team in a second. Let's go with Joe. What's up, Joe? Joe always with us. Devontae, Jalen Waddle, Ramondre, and Dobbins. A little early for Dobbins. Not too bad, though. Ayuk, went Trevor Lawrence, Tony, Freiermuth, Gibson, DPJ, McKinnon, Rashid Shaheed. Nice pick. And Mostert. All right. What do you think here? Devontae in the first round?
I mean, I'm personally going A.J. Brown and Garrett Wilson over him, but it's fine. I like where he got Ramondre. That's great value. I think Dobbins is okay there. I might go Najee over him, but I like Dobbins. Dobbins is fine there. I like that value on Ayuk. I think that's great value on T-Law. I probably should have gone Tony over Mooney just to, as my wide receiver 5, just go for more of the upside. And then I like what he did down the stretch. Took some shots on guys with potential upside. I like that team.
I still see Devontae as a first-round pick personally, so I'm on board with that. I'm on board with the Waddle there. If Wilson was available, I would take him, but I like those picks. Ramondre was a good value. I feel like you got good value pretty much with all your picks. So, yeah. Well done. And here we go. Everyone's been eagerly anticipating Stinger's picks. Already getting the shots here. All right. So we know you start out with those receivers. Went Pollard late in the third. Kind of surprised he fell that late after you put him to the moon. Right. That's probably my favorite one so far. All right. Hurts in round 4 feels like almost like a steal in these drafts. Lockett, Connor, Algier, Zay Flowers, Njoku, Nico Collins, Michael Thomas, and then, of course, Spears talked about. And then I think he did that just to get a Jaguar. I don't think he wanted us to not mention that he at least got one Jaguar, Zay Jones.
Maybe. But this is another great team. I mean, okay, the Michael Thomas, Zay Jones picks, But look, Michael Thomas in the 11th round, maybe he gives you a few healthy games. Although I already saw today Dennis Allen saying they're optimistic he'll be healthy after that toe surgery. I'm out. I'm done. Nope. But whatever. But this is a great, A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Tony Pollard, Jalen Hurts. That's a fantastic first 4 picks. Even Lockett, Connor, Algier, Flowers, and that's really a great first 9 picks, honestly. So I don't know. It's between. I think this is definitely one of the better teams. I don't know if it's quite with the S-Dubs level, but it's up there for sure.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a top 3 team. I will only say the running back depth could get really thin because we know Connor tends to get hurt. Algier's fine. I really like him where he's going. he's not going to be a league winner most likely. So that's the only thing is running back. You're lacking a little bit of depth because, like I said, I don't see Spears as like that guy. But that's kind of nitpicking. So well done once again, Stinger. Yeah, sorry. I have to throw this up there. I hope you don't. I hope you miss on him. Don't go after Michael Thomas that early. No. Or at all.
They're already talking like that he might not even be ready for week 1 now.
No. All right. That does it. So let me see one more time. You guys, you want to get in here. You missed on this draft. You want to draft with us and against the endgame community. This is the best way to get ready for the season. And oh, by the way, it's fun drafting fantasy football. So the best way to do that, guarantee yourself a spot. That link for tomorrow's draft will go in the Discord, and you can find that, the new Discord, by going to flockfantasy.com/endgame. Click on that, sign up. You can do a free trial. If you do decide to do a subscription, you'll get access to all the rankings, the articles, the live streams, bonus videos, and even more. And that's all off season long. So this would actually be a good time to do that. But you need to go to that link down below, and hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow.